Hello. Pause nuclear war. Listen to the information. It comes in parts these days. Also, it seems that none of us is qualified for nuclear war, for studying and maintaining it. This part is about what has been verified through research and development until now, that keeps being verified by life sequence. As such, hello, I am Maria Antoni Mouchli. I am the founder and owner of Group Virtue IDA, the unique of its kind prevailing international development agency for countries. It does some unique work internationally, and we are the legal leaders of Greece, Cyprus, that legally are one place based on the public referendum held in Cyprus with the agreement of both Greece and Cyprus. This referendum has political validity also, and it is a law. The deep state in Cyprus, Greece, pretended it does not exist and or that it does not apply as a law or counting to be turned into a law, buried it under not legal and not valid local and international agreements. The deep state, this one as described, suppressed the fight of locals against the British bases in 1955-1959. Who in reality they wanted to dig the referendum out of the grave it has been buried in and continue with the existing legal unity of Greece, Cyprus, the fighters of that fight. This deep state, with the rest of the deep state internationally, that are members of the Satanic cult, with Epstein coalition, definitely in the USA, UK, and other countries, also caused or allowed the Turkish invasion in Cyprus in 1947, which they maintain as such at this very moment illegally, because they hide the fact from Mr. Antonio Guterres and the Human Rights Committee of the UN, and whom it may concern, that Group Virtue IDA has developed a perfect solution throughout the years for Turkey, the Turkish Cypriots, Cyprus, Greece, Armenia, Kurds, and the other countries and the international organizations. Some members of this international deep state started as members of the Grand Lodge above the 33rd degree, which has been verified recently in other ways. Others came from promiscuity, others from avarice, greed for money, luxury, gold, silver, power, access. Others from madness. Others just needed to belong to a community. Others for other reasons. All of them became either members or affiliates or associates or facilitators directly related or indirectly related with the Satanic cult and the Epstein coalition, found in the evidence or not found in the files, evidence, because they communicate with the Satanic cult and Epstein coalition through an intermediate contact or contacts, and only that intermediate contact or contacts are in the Epstein files and in other evidence files. Amongst this deep state belong doctors, pharmacists, bankers, heads of funds, investments, chefs, cooks, owners and personnel of hotels, airlines, ticketing officers, staff of airports, lawyers, prosecutors, judges, officers in public domain of countries and in the private domain of countries, university staff at all levels, business people, mass media, singers, film stars, public figures, other stars, officers in the army, in international organizations, politicians, and others. Definitely, this deep state positions these people. It's a network that met on the common ground of Satanism, the Satanic cult, of heinous crimes, of sins, betraying of sins of promiscuity, of the destructive agenda, betraying secrets of their country, surrendering the national sovereignty of their country, breaking the national security of their country, laundering money and financing terrorism and war to hide their cult, their crimes and sins, and to make more money, get more power, access, and so on. Before they start wars, they start massacring children, minors, youth, to please Satan, to help them win. They are like their father Satan, who lies, harms people, causes division of people, disagreement, fights, endless problems. They also do what Satan does not do. They keep committing blasphemy of the name of God. Thus, all these people formed a structure in each country and in each international organization that got the control of each country and international organization throughout the years, and nobody would ever know about it, like in this complete picture, and do something about it if it weren't for the existence of the family who founded Group Virtue Ida to start with. They were passing their sins and crimes as laws, as guidelines through YEF Davos, EU, UN, and its affiliate organizations, Russell's and other group of companies. For sure, they position, without being legally elected, their own people to have access in each country in the power, contacts, resources, money, army, police, and so on. The position they give to their members is also a reward to their members, to the people they position. Their own people are the position president. The reward is for their members for doing well in the satanic cult and Epstein coalition. Their own people are the position president, the position prime minister, the position president or spokesman of the parliament, the position parliament member, the positioned European Parliament members, the positioned officers in every level and position in the municipalities, all around European countries, for example. Through the elections held around Europe on the 6th until 9th of June in 2024, the political parties, some NGOs, some pressure groups, their sponsors and supporters, local and international. That is why they took control of each country and they strangle each country with a destructive agenda. Some of the sins and crimes of this international deep state passing as guidelines and or laws are the so-called sexual education that came out of YEF Davos and was given to who for distribution. That is legalizing pedophilia, trafficking children, minors, youth, taking children away from their mother, lawyers not doing their job to make this happen, prosecutors and judges ensure it is going to take place as they have planned, through custody cases in the court of law and in other ways, taking the first house of people who allegedly cannot pay for it, the biometric and the digital IDs, taking through the digital IDs the wealth and life out of everyone. Business people and wealthy people around the world shouldn't be fooled. Their money, their billions, their trillions, whatever, are taken through the digital IDs, which is the final stage. They have control over every single person. They just take it. And they have been trying to take it, wealth and life, in various ways, but we influencers around the world, also the international system of Group Verjuita, have stopped it many times, have averted it. Taking religion course out of schools, taking holy icons of saints out of the class and public places, spreading aggressively fake news, all over internet, banning free public speaking and expressing opinion, keep bringing in the country illegal immigrants, filling gradually the workplace with immigrants from third countries, creating falsely water deficiency, leaking secret information of one's own country, selling the national sovereignty of their own country, risking and breaking the national security of their own country, imposing impunity of the criminals, not to be punished, keep passing unlawful and or unconstitutional laws, ridiculing God, Mother Virgin, saints and angels, diminishing national holidays, financing the trafficking of children, human organs, children's blood and drugs, financing Nazi Zelensky and calling them falsely war that allegedly Russia started, financing the trafficking of children, human organs, children's blood and drugs of the deep state of Israel, the Nazi Zionists and others, and calling it falsely war that allegedly Palestine started. On the 7th of October, financing the trafficking of children, human organs, children's blood and drugs, except from Ukraine, Palestine, in Yemen, Syria and other countries, done by other countries, and calling them falsely war with other countries, legalizing abortions and practicing magic, massive magic, creating a nuclear war by the USA deep states and the UK deep state for imposing their change or maintenance of money wealth, and so on. This information has been verified as valid so far by research and development carried out by Group Virtue IDA, the International Development Agency for countries for their safety and development, and the group does it so well that it is impossible for others to do, although some keep hallucinating. They can replace the founder and the family and create something like it. Also, the group are the human of God, His chosen. It is a term. This family are His chosen to lead and spread internationally for all countries, all international organizations, and all international community to be blessed in ways only God can do. God helps countries through this family, MMPT, their senior mentor, AM, MM's father, and their direct generation, MM's direct generation, in the thousands of NPTs of years to come. This family, whomever they give their blessing, and they do not change course of action, and they do not fake something, these people have also God's blessing. God gives His blessing through this family. Excuse me, please. And it should be cleared that whomever leader, citizen, group, international organization proceed without the blessing of God, they are going to fail. Those blaspheming God's name, they are going to be persecuted and fail. For example, Zelensky, Netanyahu, all the political perpetrators and other perpetrators, all the criminals mentioned before, and so on. It is important to know that Group Virtue IDA has been created with the support of a society of responsible citizens around the world, from all the 200 and more countries, long before the group achieved the international handshake agreement with the international community, and people and groups from various backgrounds keep coming in. Gradually, international organizations started joining. Others too. People with good intentions, even other people with not so good intentions, meet on the common ground with common values of group virtue ida and apply in such excellent skills and way with iron results the safety and development of the countries, the positive agenda that is turning the actual needs of the citizens and the country into action, bringing continuous iron results. This is the reason the countries still exist, although they have been terminated long ago. The reason the group is kept away from mass media, low paid, working hard in manual jobs for so many hours, 182 currently, from Monday to Friday, and they keep trying to assassinate them, trying them in the court of law through an illegal court custody case and imposing on them other atrocities too. So the reason the deep state keeps doing this to the group and the family is that although the group is at the top of world hierarchy for communication purposes and for their iron results, it is because there are people who have so much ego. They are highly promiscuous. They launder money in such excessive ways. They finance terrorism and wars to cover that laundering of money. Or there are people internationally that the group helps, but they do not sponsor the group, or find other ways with the group, which is weaponized against the countries. For example, Group Virtue ITA is an indispensable advisor, planning strategy, assessing risk, finding solutions. For example, in this war. But they let the founder in a factory or any other place being highly abused, working, for example, as manual worker, attempting to assassinate her, making to her proposals to sleep with men, either to advance herself or have favor, and also some people think they reward her if they would sleep with her randomly. That messed up their mind is, and nobody and no country sponsors the group, volunteers with the group, this volunteer with a group, make appearances with a group, give a position in their country to the founder, her son, her father, so that people witness their iron results and get to know them and get the blessing, of course. Nobody awards the family and group, although it is the family who initiates the alignments internationally, protecting family and wealth of everyone, no matter where they come from. For example, the family, each of them should be given the Nobel Prize, Peace, and other prizes, and the group also. Now, there was some offer of cooperating with the country. Let's see where that goes. And it depends on that country and every other country. Another example, you think it is normal and rational for the group to be coordinating international wars and to be the legal leader of the country, but have people from the satanic cult leading and running the country allegedly, which they don't, and nobody does anything about it. Not even the army, not even the police, not even the lawyers, not even the business people or other people. They do not approach the founder and cooperate with the founder. Pay her, give her leading positions. And to her son, he's young, but he's very high intelligence. His mind and results are not the same, are not compatible with the age, are not going by age. They do not return her son back to her fully as her permanent court order of custody was before trying to assassinate her in 2018 and then calling it custody case 63/2018. They should award her, her son, her father, the group, the family, this, why I stress these points? This suggests there is not good judgment of those supported by the group, and that is all the countries, leaders, citizens. It shows they do not have good judgment. This is an argument that none of us is qualified to carry out the nuclear war. Also, it's not just a deep state, it's also the country supported by Group Virtuita. They do not let the group pass to sign the contract with each of the plus 200 countries as their support, as described in example 1, as their insurance policy, let us say, for their safety and development, in the way the group works, advising, assessing risks, finding solutions, and so on. They do not want the new effective international economy the group proposes, and it's the only way money is going to be blessed and save the situation with a crashing international economy, devaluation, total devaluation of money, gold, silver. There are going to be other ways of trading. They do not want to announce internationally even the people cooperating with us. That Greece, Cyprus is the people and the countries cooperating with us. They do not want to announce internationally that Greece, Cyprus is legally one piece. They do not want to lock the three leading positions in Greece, because Cyprus is legally a part of Greece and they do not have a parliament and leading positions. And this way, the group is going to monitor these three leading positions. And the group can advise the citizens to take action easily if anything goes wrong, like with these three leading positions, like the Satanic Cult, the Epstein Coalition, and other brokers find their way on these three leading positions again. And we want to be monitoring them after we serve our duty that is legally allowed in these three leading positions. Me and my son, and any other of a direct line. That is, these people blocking the group to do the aforementioned, they ignore God. They refuse to obey Him. They do not have God's blessing. For example, it is sad to say, but two leaders I have personally chosen and prayed God and discussed it with spiritual fathers and keep supporting, like Trump and Putin. They were given God's blessing because of this. Through the group, yet they too, along with others, do not listen God. Up to what seems to be right now. We say seems to be. It feels like they block the group. They ignore God. And thus allow others to blaspheme God's name, which is as if they're doing it themselves. And that is why none is going to win the war. At least it was such the case before we intervened as Group Verjuida, with the cooperation of the whole international system of influencers and coming from the plus 200 countries, and God's grace. The value of money, gold, silver is going to be lost. Banks are going to close. The worst form of poverty, the worst form of Great Depression, and many other atrocities in countries are coming. You can't win by ignoring God, blaspheming God's name, not obeying Him, not accepting His representatives, His chosen ones. If it is not like this, it's going to come in other ways. We cannot make fun of God. I repeat, and God is. God is, and He is omnipresent, omnipotent, omnipowerful, and He holds all the money in this world. Why would anyone do these things, and why anyone would choose Satan who by the end of the day, he's gonna tell you the same thing. God is in charge. And God can give you these things. Which is what Netanyahu, and actually who put Netanyahu to it, are aspiring, bringing Messiah, who already came and then killed him, and he was resurrected. That's why we fast. They are bringing Satan, who is gonna be all inside a human, who in 3 years from now, when they are going to ask him, give us what you've promised, he's gonna turn into a little kitty. He's gonna say, who? Me? Only him can give it to you. That's why we say these people are hallucinating, they're suffering from mental issues, they have obsession with Satan, Antichrist. That's a terrible thing to be happening to them also. So, from this, we got that none of us is qualified to carry out the nuclear war. I know what I said, that it should be carried by the end of the day because we need to clean up all this promiscuity. But let us see what we can do all together with the grace of God. We said that group accepts people from all religions because we have a common ground with common values, the basic ones, the needed ones, for someone to be an excellent professional, excellent family person, excellent community person, excellent leader in their own life, in their own country, in their own community. Their innocent values, nothing hidden. Just we don't choose by country, by religion, by gender. We choose by their willingness to meet on the common ground and deliver our own results for the benefit of the ground, of the country. Who does not want their family and wealth to be protected? Let us put it like this. And with all this being said, NATO and all the armies around the world, police of all the countries around the world, and the international police, the alleged leaders and alleged other politicians and allegedly representing citizens of the world, countries and their citizens, of EU and of other countries, and also the people running these countries in various ways are not elected. They are positioned by the satanic cult and the Epstein coalition to achieve their own goals. Let that sink in. They are serial murderers and criminals, trafficking children. They are NATO and armies and police around the world. Trafficking children, drugs, human organs, they launder money, they broke national security of the country, they leak secret information of their country, they sold the national sovereignty of their country, and they finance terrorism and war to hide all these crimes. Therefore, it is illegal to be listening to them It is legal to be listening to us. We have acquired legality to represent all countries through various ways throughout the years. Legally. What I'm asking you is to cooperate with us and each other, gather, and at specific time, start cleaning up and finish it off the promiscuity from all the corners of Earth, of the world. That's simple. That is how we're not going to have a nuclear war. That is the end of part 1. Thank you for listening. Take good care of yourself, your family, your country. Be blessed. Let's stay focused. Let's cooperate. And let us find ways to solve things. Again, thank you for listening. Bye.